Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leadership Talks. My name is Paul Ragusa. I'm the editor for Security Systems News, and this is our weekly webcast. I am very happy to have today's leader, James Henderson. He's the president and CEO of Vigilon. Hi, James. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Paul, and it's president and COO, so we're on the same page.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Before I jump into questions, James, I thought it would be good if you just give us an overview of the company.
Yeah, thanks, Paul, and as I said, thanks for having me. Vigilon is a Motorola Solutions company and really a global leader in security and surveillance solutions. You know, as a company, we came into the security industry back in 2004 with an idea of providing end-to-end high-quality surveillance solutions. And since then, we've really evolved our portfolio. We've entered into the access control market, and really in recent years have focused on artificial intelligence, video analytics, and now even more recently moving into the cloud as well. That was really driven, Paul, when you think about it, on one sheer problem that we need to solve, which was with the rise of surveillance cameras and the need for greater safety and security. There was this information overload that we started noticing, you know, that operators were getting bombarded with so much information that they weren't actually able to process it and make it effective. We saw that as a challenge and what would be a real hindrance to success of these types of solutions moving forward. So in the last recent years, we've invested heavily and become a leader in using AI and artificial intelligence and video analytics specifically to sift through this mounds of data and really pick out the important pieces of information that an operator or a facility or whoever is looking at it might need to take action on. So really helping sort through the noise and bring focus of attention onto things that matter most.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting area right now, AI, analytics. And do you think we're finally getting to the point where we could really start to leverage this tool? I know it's kind of been overpromised and underdelivered in the past, but where are we now with this technology?
Yeah, and you know that's a very true statement. For those that have been in the industry for quite some time, you know, analytics has come and gone quite a bit, but now where we're at, Paul, with the advancements in technology, the investments specifically as an example that Vigilon has made with years of R&D and research to develop these type of engines, what we're seeing now is real world applications, which is a big difference between where we were previously and where we are now. You know, if you think about it previously, what you saw was the concept of analytics, but really in a sterile lab-based environment, not in the real world. What we're able to do now is actually leverage this technology in the real world with real world challenges of lighting and camera angles and everything else, but actually make it an applicable, useful tool. You know, if I look at things like our Vigilon Appearance Search, we have this deployed now throughout North America and throughout the globe, and it's solving real world challenges, allowing operators to simply, for instance, click on Paul and say, show me everywhere that Paul's been in my facility. So it really allows you to speed up the time to get information that you need to make decisions. And as I said, it's happening now in real time in real environments, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And can we dive a little deeper into this? How is the cloud, helping to do all this? I know you have a platform now. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, when we look at cloud, you know, Paul, we've taken a slightly different approach in cloud and really focused it about being a service platform for our integrators to provide a better service to their end users. Because ultimately what the end users want is a system that is there, that is operational, that's going to give them the results that they want when they need it. Our cloud service platform now allows our dealers to manage and scale their business, to deploy more systems, support more clients, ensure that those clients are up and running, that they have the right updates on their systems so they're secure, and that they are, you know, fully operational, so that there's not some dangling camera that's gone down, so we can provide real-time health notifications and really ensure that as we start to build that out, we're building a platform, not just a cloud application. And as you see us continue to evolve that cloud platform, we'll continue to add more and more services that, we envision bringing value to both the integrator to help them grow their business, but also the end user to make the tool more useful.
Yeah, and you're right, and you really hit it on the nail on the head there with the scalability. That is really a key component. Let's switch gears a little bit right now. I'm not sure if the listeners are aware that you recently won the Canada's Top 40 Under 40 Award. So congrats on that. I know that was it's the country's one of the most coveted awards for young business leaders. So I thought we can get into the topic of leadership, but congrats first of all on the award.
No, thank you for that, Paul. It is a true honor to have received that award. Obviously, they go through a number of candidates when they consider who's going to be placed into this coveted top 40 under 40. So it's a real honor for me. When I look at that particular award, Paul, honestly, I see just some of the best and brightest in Canada, which is really, it really shows that Canadian business is competing on a world-class level. But for me, it's really an award when I look at it for me that really recognizes the success of the team and the accomplishments of Avigilon as a whole. I've had the honor of working with the best and brightest, I will say, within the industry, and we've had a tremendous success as a company. And I really attribute this award to that success that the overall company has seen.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, I mean, I think there were over 800 nominees from across the country for this award, so that's really impressive. What are some of the leadership? What's your leadership style? I know you've done a lot to help grow the company, and obviously that takes a lot of leadership skills. How would you say your leadership style is?
Paul, when I look at leadership, there's one thing that honestly sort of concerns me when I look at the portrayal of leadership in today's day and age. And you sort of get this connotation that to be a really good leader, Paul, you need to almost be a tyrant, right? You need to be extremely overbearing and just very aggressive. And I don't agree with that particular portrayal. I think you need to be assertive, but I think you can be a very successful leader without having to be a tyrant. And if I look at leadership as a whole and really distill it down to what I believe are sort of the key things to be a good leader, for me, it always comes back to 3 key points. One being vision. If you're going to have a successful company, you need to provide everyone that works at that company a North Star. They need a guiding light. What are we working towards? What's the vision for the company? What are we building? And really set milestones so that you can focus them in on achieving metrics. And then as you achieve those metrics, really set the next set of goals for the company. But that way, everyone understands that there is a path that we're going towards, and working together, we're all going to get there. The next one really comes down to, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So the next one, Paul, really comes down to putting the right people in the right places. This is probably one of the most essential tasks that any leader should focus on. It's by no means is it an easy task, because unfortunately, when you want to put the right people in the right places, sometimes you need to make tough decisions in doing so. But I will tell you, above all, putting the right people in the right place allows your business to grow tremendously, organically, and allows these individuals who are, the cream of the crop that you have selected to really be their best and help everyone else be their best. And that sort of leads into the last one, Paul, which is, if you think about the keys to being a good leader, the last one is really about you need to get the most out of people. Your job as a leader is to motivate and drive them to be their best. And when you do that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because people like to see themselves accomplish new tasks, more challenging tasks. There's an air of self-fulfillment when you do that. And I personally believe, Paul, that if you set that as an expectation, not only that you place on the people that report directly to you, but also an expectation that they should be placing that same expectation and those same idea of getting the most out of the people that report to them, what you build is a culture of driven individuals. And that's ultimately what you want, because when people are self-driven, they are the ones that are going to push the business forward, and they are the ones that are going to allow you as a leader to continue to focus on new and exciting opportunities rather than babysitting the day-to-day.
Yeah, those are great points, and I think you're right on about that. All those points you mentioned. All right, how about, I know you led what really was a huge deal, the $1 billion acquisition of Avigilon by Motorola. Can you talk a little bit about that process and how you're able to lead the company through that?
Yeah, it was a very exciting process. I think the stat was that it's really only one of three of its kind in the last decade in Canada, and it was a tremendous amount of work for both myself and the team that I had supporting me to accomplish it. And really, Paul, it was about, above all else, finding the right path for Avigilon to continue and accelerate its growth. And ultimately, as we went down that process and explored a number of opportunities, when I look at Motorola Solutions as a company, what they do, their focus on technology, the market that they play in, the partnering of these two companies that are both very successful in their spaces, but also have this incredible opportunity, which doesn't come very often, to really cross-sell each of the technologies into very similar, yet, if I look at Avigilon, very underpenetrated markets for us, like government and public safety, was really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So as we started looking at things and discussing it, the opportunity to bring these two businesses together is something that I believe is going to just create tremendous value for our partners, for our end users, and tremendous growth for the company. So it's going to allow us to continue to invest, continue to grow Avigilon with the support of a company that is very like-minded.
Yeah, it seems like a great deal for both parties involved. So, congrats on that. So, what's next for Avigilon? Can you kind of give us the short and long-term goals for the company moving forward?
Yeah, in the short term, I think, Paul, what you're going to see is us continuing down the path of really focusing on building out our portfolio, bringing more value to our partners and to our end users. A heavy focus on, of course, continuing to evolve our analytics, adding more analytics and solving more problems with analytics. Because as I said, I do believe that today, when we think about these things, there's a lot of talk of AI and video analytics and this concept around machine learning. But when I think about it, Paul, if we do it right, and we are spending a tremendous amount of focus on this particular area, but if we do it right, in the future, you're not really going to talk about video analytics or AI specifically anymore, because it's going to be an intrinsic part of the solution that you choose. Because really, ultimately, what you want out of AI is you're not looking for AI technology as an end user. You're looking for a result, and the AI delivers that result. So you're going to see a lot from Avigilon as we continue to evolve that story and build more and more solutions that provide these end results, that solve these problems, so that people can do more with less, and people can focus their attention on things that matter and make critical real-time decisions, and really help the industry shift from what was a very reactionary industry, where things like video surveillance were used after the fact, to really a proactive industry, where through AI and continued learning, we're able to provide information in real time so that operators can then hopefully stop things before they happen, as opposed to reacting to them. So we'll invest heavily into that. Obviously, our cloud platform is something that we are focusing on significantly. We see tremendous opportunity to bring that and continue to extend that into our partner channel and leverage that as a service platform to support our integrator partners in their growth so that they can scale and do more with less, build a more profitable business, which I think is very important to them. But while doing so, provide that extra level of service to their clients. You know, it's the little things when I think about it, even the little things of when I look at a lot of surveillance systems out there, they don't get updated as often as they should. But through a cloud connected solution like our Vigilon Blue platform, we can ensure that those systems operators are notified when updates are available, when improvements to the system come, so we can have a continuously learning, continuously evolving platform out there for our end users, which will provide real value. And then from there, really what you'll see overall as an overarching theme from us, Paul, is really extending what I like to call the end-to-end solution, or really that owning the customer experience. You know, as we start and we think about where we are today, we go everywhere from building the sensors, the camera units, all the way into the software, to the recording devices, now extending that into the cloud so it's a connected and constantly learning, constantly being updated system. And there are other pieces that we can plug into that to allow us to continue to extend our reach as part of the customer experience workflow that we believe, as we continue to build that out, will allow us to provide really unparalleled solutions into our market segment. And then as well, we will continue to look at how we, as an overarching organization being under the Motorola Solutions umbrella, look at ways that we can differentiate, bringing a truly connected and a truly integrated solution into areas like public safety, safe city, and the government space. Really something that I think has never been brought into that space before, and I think we have a tremendous opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I think you're right. And looking kind of in your crystal ball, maybe the next 5-10 years, where do you see the industry going? I know we were speaking about this before we got on the call about the pace of adoption of technology in the industry has kind of accelerated the past few years. How far until we get, or are we getting there already, to a more predictive stance in security, like you were mentioning, where we could be more preventive and catch things before they happen? Is this going to take some time to fully get there, or what's your opinion on that?
Paul, that's a great question. And when I think about it, honestly, I see that wave starting to occur today. I talk to our customers, I talk with our integrator partners, and I hear that how they are already using our video analytics and our AI to solve real world problems, which is just an incredible feat to be able to say, given the nature of where analytics were only 10 years ago. But I think we're seeing that path accelerate. And I honestly see in the next few years, what we're going to see is a more educated end user that is not just looking for a widget to put up in a ceiling or plug on a wall. They are going to think about a solution. And what they're going to want is a solution that does more for them. And I've spoken with a lot of people on this topic, Paul, and when I think about it, I almost look at it like where the cell phone industry was, where when you look at it 10, 20 years ago, well, probably 20 years ago now, I'm dating myself, but it was an industry that was simply focused on driving a lower and lower and lower and lower price widget. But then all of a sudden that industry went through a shift. And the shift really wasn't around trying to drive the cheapest possible product into the market. The shift was around driving a solution that just did more. And when people see that they can get more value, get better results, they are willing to invest because it just makes sense for their business. And I see our industry right now on that same path, and I see that path accelerating in years to come.
Yeah, great points. Really good stuff. James, looks like we're out of time, so thank you for joining us this week. I appreciate it.
Paul, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
And everyone tune in next week for another webcast, same time. And thanks, everyone.